Hi everyone! Today, at long last, we're going to be trying Tati's Blendiful. I'm so excited for this. I've had this for the past like 2 weeks-ish sitting in my room, and every time I wanted to approach it, I kind of didn't know what to do. And recently I watched Tati's new video of her showing step-by-step instructions of actually how to use this. And I'm really excited to try this out and do everything that she did. And I'm going to try to follow as closely to her instructions as possible. I've never tried anything like this before. I am a makeup lover, but I've never had any like official training or anything like that for makeup. So this is really new for me. So I want to see if somebody like me can use these and can get really good use out of them. And I'm going to be trying that out today. So I am starting off with a bare face. I did use a serum prior to this, but now I'm going to go into all the liquid products and some powder products and see how everything works. I'm really excited about this, so let's dive in. So for primer, she used 2 different primers, which is something I know she does a lot. She used more of a gripping primer all over the face, and then something else that's more of like a pore filling one around like the problem areas, like the T-zone, stuff like that. So that's what I'm going to be doing today too. I'm going to start with the Milk Makeup Hydro Grip Primer. So this is meant to make your foundation last longer. And she did say to try to do what feels natural when it comes to like swiping, tapping, all that stuff. So it does feel natural to me with something like this to swipe it on. This is what I would probably do with my fingers if I had applied it without this puff. So 2 pumps from this baby size of a primer did cover my entire face, so that's really nice. And now that I'm touching like the place where I previously put this on, it is barely like wet feeling. It doesn't really have too much residue on. I do feel like it deposited a big chunk of the actual product on my face. And by the way, I forgot to mention this, but I did already wash these once. I have yet to use them, but I did want to wash it before I put it on my face, just because, you know, it came from a factory. I wanted to be super clean when I use it for the first time. Then I also heard a bunch of people that had problems with like some flaking off of some of the fibers on this. So I figured washing it one time before actually using it would be a good idea. Next, I'm going to use something to fill in my pores, and I'm going to be trying out this e.l.f. Poreless Putty Primer. This is the first time I'm trying this product out. I do really love the Tatcha one, and I use that one almost every single day. And I wanted to give this one a shot. I heard that it was sort of like a dupe for it, and I do know that they just came out with different ones, like a matte one and a luminous one. So I figured I would give this one a shot before those come out, so I can like try those out as well if I like this one. So what I'm going to do is take the exact same spot on the Blendiful, and I'm just going to dip right into this. And it did seem like she put a good amount of product on there, so that's what I did as well. And this is the kind of motion I'm trying to do. I am mimicking what Tati was doing, so it's sort of like a pressing motion while also swishing it around. I don't even know how to describe this, but I feel like this is working pretty well. Okay, so looking at a close-up mirror, it seems like it did a very good job. I feel like it really made all of my pores sort of disappear, which is what I'm asking for from this product, right? But once you have this kind of like motion, it really gets in there. And I don't think that when I normally use a primer like this, I get the same amount of coverage. So that's really great. I mean, I'm not even wearing any makeup right now, only this primer, and I already feel like my nose area is looking so much better. So I really like this. And again, touching this, it doesn't even feel anything other than a tiny bit wet over here, so I do feel like I can use the same corner again and again and again, and it wouldn't really like mix up the products too much. Next, I'm going to go into concealer, and today I'm going to be using the Shape Tape from Tarte. I am going to start by dotting this on my face, and this is the regular amount I use when I do put this concealer on. Wow, I think it looks so nice. I do not see any creasing. I do think Looks really even and nice, and again, not much product is actually left on the Blendiful. I feel like it does a good job of blending most of the product onto your face and not leaving a ton of residue on here. Now for foundation, I'm going to be using this one, which I use every single time I do my makeup, which is the Anastasia Beverly Hills Luminous Foundation. And normally when I use this, I use 2 pumps, so that's what I did right now. And I think it would be best to sort of pick it up with my finger, tap it on my face, and then go ahead and blend it in. So again, I'm using that same tip, and I'm just going to be patting this in and then swiping as I go along. I think something about the application being a little bit thicker that makes it look like it doesn't match my skin tone as well as it normally does, because when it is very light coverage, you barely notice this. And right now I feel like this is a little bit more of a starker difference. And B, I do think that it makes the foundation look a little bit heavier and maybe a tiny bit more cakey. I think around the cheek area, it actually blended really nice. I do think it looks really good, and it even made it look very luminous, which I don't think shows through as much when I use it with a beauty blender. But around places like my forehead, I feel like it's a bit clinging right here to where I have a little bit of like drier skin. So that's something to keep in mind if you use something like this that gets a little bit more in there and like intimate with your skin, then you probably need to take care of problem areas like this. Now we're going to flip the Blendiful to the other side so we can use it for powder, and we're going to use 2 different powders to set. I'm going to use a more luminous one underneath my eyes, which is this one from Mercier. This is the Secret Brightening Powder for Under Eyes. So I'm just going to take that same tip but from the other side and dip it right into this powder. A lot of product came out. This is definitely more of like a baking tool than just a regular setter. Just keep that in mind. And I'm just going to tap this under my eyes. Yeah, this is definitely going to be perfect for baking. So let's try to do something a little bit different. On this eye, we're going to do like a baking situation, and then on this eye, I'm just trying to blend this into my skin. So basically, I'm just tapping and a little bit swiping under my eye with the Blendiful. And now to set the rest of my face, I'm going to use the Cody Airspun. And this is a recommendation from Tati actually, so I feel like it's very fitting for today. So I put some powder in the cap, and then I'm going to take again that same tip and dip it in. And I'm just going to tap this into my skin, and I'm not trying to do any baking on the rest of my face. Like, I'm not going to do that line or anything that a lot of people do, because it's just not something that I normally do with my routine. And with the powder for like my entire face, I'm definitely doing more of a swiping motion, sort of mimicking this situation that we did before with the primer. To swipe off my bake from this eye, Tati did recommend using a brush, so I am going to do that. And this is the Morphe X Jeffree Star JS2. I really like this one for swiping off the bake. So I'm just going to swipe it away and then sort of blend it. And this is what the bake and no bake look like. Tiny bit of a difference, but nothing too dramatic. I do like how both sides look, so I'm really happy about this. I was really rooting for this product and for Tati, so I'm really excited about this, yay! Now I'm going to go into some bronzer. This one is from Hourglass, and I don't normally use a cream bronzer. That is why I'm just going to use my regular everyday one, which is a powder. So I am going to take that same side with the powders, and I'm going to be using this longer edge. So I am folding it in half like she did and just swiping it inside the compact. I'm going to take a mirror, look to the side, and then just sort of stamp it on. Wow, that was like instant. Okay, so definitely you don't need a lot. But once you do put it on, that was really easy. Now I'm going to take another corner that's like clean because I want to take some product off and sort of use it to blend. That's actually really pretty. I love it. Oh my god. For powder products, this is actually such a beautiful tool. I'm really shocked. I'm going to use a little bit of the excess that I have here, just on my temples a bit and on my jawline. And again, I'm just going to blend it in with the clean edge. This is really impressive. I love it. For blush, I do want to give a cream one a shot. This one is from NARS. This is their tried and true Orgasm. So I'm going to be applying this right on my cheek, straight from the product. And then taking an empty spot on the Blendiful on the liquid side, I'm just going to blend this in. Wow, that's looking so nice. It's very natural looking, which I like. It's sort of like a glow from within type situation, which credit does go to the product because it is sort of like a more luminous situation, but the application is really beautiful and flawless thanks to this, so I really like it again. And now lastly, I really wanted to see how the Blendiful fares with highlight. I want to try both a liquid and then also a powder. So for liquid, I'm using the Liquid Frost from Jeffree Star. This one is in the shade Frozen Peach. And then for my powder highlight, I'm going to use Dandelion Twinkle from Benefit. So we're going to start with liquid. I'm going to take the tiniest bit of this, put it on the back of my hand. This is actually a ton of product. I'm going to just barely dab into it and then dab this right here. I'm just tapping this in. So this would be the liquid. Very nice. I love the application with this actually. It's really easy. Normally I would probably just blend this in with my fingers and then it does tend to look a tiny bit patchy. Here I feel like it does look really natural, so love that. And when I say natural, I don't mean that this looks natural because I am aware that highlight normally when it's this blinding is not natural, but it does look like it blends with my skin really well. Now I flipped back over to the powder side and I'm going to be trying this out with the powder highlights. I'm again taking a clean side. Whoa, a lot of product came out. I'm just tapping this on. I kind of want to top this off with the powder as well. Love it. Oh my god, it's looking so nice. The last product I wanted to try applying with the Blendiful is a Paintpot, and I saw Miss Paige Coran, I'm going to list her Instagram below, use the mini Blendiful for this actually, which I think is a really smart idea. She raved about it, so I really wanted to try that out. So I'm going to be taking my Paintpot in Painterly and the mini Blendiful and taking one of the angled sides, I'm just going to go right into there. Wow, again, a lot of product picks up when you go right into products, so that's really important to keep in mind. And I'm just going to swipe this on my eyelids. Unlike the other Blendiful, which barely any product stayed on the actual Blendiful, this one keeps a little bit more on it, but it did apply very nicely, so I do really like it. So let me go ahead and do my eyes and lips off camera, and then I'll be right back with all my thoughts on the Blendiful. Okay, so I am back to share all my final thoughts about the Tati Beauty Blendiful, and this is actually the next day. I did film the whole like thoughts and outro and everything already, but it got erased by accident, so I'm redoing it now. This is actually a good thing at the very end of it, because now I've had the makeup on for the entire day, and then I went to sleep, took my makeup off, did my makeup again today. So I have a little bit of deeper thoughts and feelings about this, and not just like a first impression type situation. So today when I did my makeup, I used the Blendiful, the big one, for everything apart from my foundation, and I'll explain why. Everything that I've applied with this applied really beautifully. The only thing that I didn't love was the application for the makeup, for the actual like foundation. And I'll explain why. What happened is that wherever I had some dry patches, like right here, and I think maybe even right here, it tended to cling to the dry patch, which is something that never happens to me when I apply my foundation with the beauty blender. I think it's mainly because when I use a beauty blender, it is damp and it has some water in it. So that maybe helps a bit with like blending right here and, you know, like helping with that problem area. And with something like this that is completely dry, it just, you know, deposits the product and clings to whatever you have on your skin. So if you have perfect skin, this will probably look really nice, but I'm assuming most of us don't. So that's why I didn't love the foundation, but everything else was perfect, especially the powders. I really loved, and it's something that I did today as well, to do my bronzer and my highlight and my blush, everything with this. And of course my setting powder, and I did use it for liquid things like my primer around my nose, stuff like that. So I think this is a really, really good tool. It's really unique for the mass market right now, which is amazing. I think trying to innovate something is incredible, and good job to Tati for doing that. And I really did enjoy this. I think I will continue to use it because today when I did my makeup, that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to pick this up and use it. And I don't always feel like that with new things that I try, so it does show you something. So, like I said, everything but foundation, I give it a 10 out of 10. Foundation, I would say around like a 7 out of 10, because if I did just leave it like, let's say around this area, it looked beautiful. But again, my problem areas, it kind of showed through. So yes, I honestly can say I recommend it. So that's everything for today's video. If you want to see the last video I filmed, which was the Jeffree Star mystery box unboxing, I will link it below. And all my other ones you can check out on my channel. And please subscribe if you like this kind of content. And I will see you all in my next one. Bye!